a sadness I can't shake. Avoiding what's burning, walking the safer path. And the wheels, they just keep on turning. Why don't we feel it embracing us? There was a time when magic opened up our eyes. We struggle jaded in the cold every day. Why is it so hard to let love unfold and stay? Humming the same song, never writing the words. And our wheels, they keep on turning. Why don't we feel it embracing us? There was a time when magic opened up our eyes. Why don't we feel it embracing us? There was a time when magic opened up our eyes.
You are a wonderful creation. Yes, you are. And you know more than you think you know, but you also know less than you want to know. So keep on striving, keep on learning, keep on doing your yoga, doing it your way. Remember to do it your way because it makes such a positive change in your life. I just can't tell you, but you probably already know that if you've been practicing regularly with us. You know how you feel, and that's a good feeling, and it's important to keep it going. Makes a wonderful difference in your life. I'll tell you some more about that in a little bit. Thanks for being here. I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home. That's the best thing. You do it your way. It's a no judgment zone. Nobody's looking at you. Nobody's bothering you. There's no competition. Do your yoga your way. And as the bottom of the screen says, do what's right for your body. Don't get hurt. Don't let anything hurt. Every day we practice. Every day it's different. And today is all on the mat if you want it to be. I have 2 balancing poses that we'll do if you want to do them. It's up to you. You decide. Don't worry about it now. Decide when you get there. All right, get your props. Don't hurt your body. Do what you can. Modify when you need to. And come on down to your mat. First thing, take a stress number. What are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 to 5, whatever it is? Get into your child's pose. Remember that stress number. Give it a little number and remember it. And we're going to work on bringing it down. All right, so child's pose. You know this pose. Couple ways to take it. Knees can be together, big toes touching, hips back to your heels. Knees not liking it very much? Okay, modify it. Put a blanket, put a towel underneath your knees, or fold your mat over. Or maybe spreading your knees wide works. Or maybe being on your seat, on your bottoms, extending your legs and reaching forward. We just kind of want to lengthen the spine here. So you could take a block or two, knees together, hips back, Arms down, resting your head on a block or no blocks at all. Or take a wide-legged child's pose. I'm going to evolve in this wide-legged child's pose. We're going to go into tadpole and frog. So if you wanted to start with your knees together, that's fine. Or if you want to kind of get there a little bit now, you can spread your knees for a wide-legged child's pose, hips back to your heels. Put a block under your forehead if you want. Arms can reach long to the top of your mat. Don't stress over this. Rest your head on the block or the mat, whatever works. And take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And here's the word for today. The word today is beginner. So think about this as you come into this wonderful beginning child's pose. So what is a beginner? I mean, it's a novice. It's somebody who's starting out. Embrace that. You don't have to be an expert. Experts, everybody expects too much from an expert. Let it go. You're a beginner. There's always so much that we don't know. So what? Who cares? Just have fun. Be ready and willing to be a beginner, because a beginner's fresh and everybody wants to be fresh and new, right? Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out in your child's pose. The wonder of a child. How great to be a child and see things through a child's eyes. Maybe try to see your yoga in that way today as a beginner. Fresh, new, something different. Take a deep breath in and a deep sighing breath out. And a really, really, really deep breath. I'm talking about deep breaths in where you feel like you can't even fill your lungs up anymore. And big sighing breaths out. Really push it out. Empty your lungs completely. A few deep breaths in, followed by deep breaths sighing out through your mouth. Let it go. When you're ready, if you like, close your lips and try to breathe in and out of your nose. If you're in the classic child's pose, you know that one. That's when your knees are together. Maybe try to work them a little bit apart. You want to feel length in your spine here. If you're in the child's pose, your knees are getting a nice stretch. Ankles are too. But what we really want to feel here is the spine being long. So think of your tailbone going to the back of your mat and your crown of your head going to the top. Deep breaths. Let the outside world go. Just be in your present moment. That's another beauty of being young and being a child and being a novice, being a beginner. You focus on the here and now. You don't worry about the past. You don't worry about the future. That's adulting. We're not going to adult here. We're going to just be in our bodies and be in the present moment and approach everything on our mat is new today. Spread your knees a little bit wider if you can. That's kind of taking it to a tadpole pose. Don't worry, don't rush. If it is painful, come out of it. If it's just uncomfortable, hang with it. Maybe your shoulders can be a little freer as you reach your fingers to the top of the mat. Maybe you can work your feet apart from each other, working your shins so they're a little more parallel to the sides of your mat. There's your full frog pose. So kind of the evolution from that child's pose to tadpole to full frog. Feel what you feel. Don't judge it. Just be at peace. Soften your jaws. And big breaths. All right, so you know how this feels in your body. Adjust so it feels doable and it feels, that it's working, that you feel good, that the stretch is good. And you're not overdoing it. You're not overthinking it. You're not worried about it. You don't want to worry about it. You want it to feel right. Take your deep breath in And your deep settling breath out, and just maybe, just for a moment, kind of marvel at what your body can do. How you can stretch, how you can move. And I pretty much guarantee that if you move better, you'll be happier. All right. If you want to stay here, stay longer. We always say that. If you like a pose and it's working for you and you got that mojo going on, stay there. If you want to come out of it and come into a cat-cow pose, let's do that. So bring your knees on back in. Come to a neutral tabletop position. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Push into the earth and lengthen through your spine. Hold it here for a second, really getting strong in the push against the mat. Even the tops of your feet are pushing into the mat. Find length. Now here comes the cat-cow part. You're going to look like a cat. You're going to look like a cow. Tuck your chin to your chest. Tuck your tailbone under. Think of your belly button going up to meet your spine. And come into cat. Arch your back up to the sky. Inhale, cow pose. Tailbone and the crown of your head will lift. So do a couple of these. So good to nourish your spine and get the blood flowing. And think about your cat-cow pose. In cat, you're tucking your tailbone under and your chin too. In cow, you're raising the tailbone and the crown of your head, so feel compression in your low back. And we're going to increase that compression in the next pose. So cat and cow. Push into the earth. Breathe out your back. Inhale, cow. Come to your neutral tabletop, or keep doing your cat-cow if that's speaking to you. I'm going to extend the right leg long. Press the ball of the foot into the mat. Oh, that should feel nice. Think of your heel going to the back of your room. Lift that extended right leg up, cross the midline of the body, squeeze in your upper inner thighs, and put the ball of the foot down on the left side of your body. Then look over your shoulder. Can you see your foot? Maybe you can see your knee. Maybe you can even see your bottom. Push into the mat. Feel the good stretch on this right side. Sweep the extended right leg around to whatever feels good. Maybe bring it to about hip height. Plant the foot and lift your right arm up to the sky. Think of your chest is open. Reach your fingers high to the sky. Spread your fingers wide. Breathe, look up. Twist your neck a little bit more. You got a lot of foundation here. You're stable, you're strong. Look up to your hand. Right hand comes down. Sweep the right leg back and right knee meets left knee. Other side, left leg extends. Ball of the foot pushes into the mat. Push your hands into the mat. Even your right foot, push it into the mat, almost like you're a runner ready to take off. When you're ready, cross the midline of the body. Look over the right shoulder. Look back to the knee. Look back to the bottom. Big stretch in your left side here. Push the earth away, good and strong. Sweep the left leg, which is straight, around, maybe to about hip height. Plant it and lift your left arm up. Push into the earth. Look up a little higher. Breathe. You got it. Chest is open. You're strong. You're mobile. Come back to the starting position. Knee meets knee, hand meets hand. You're in your neutral tabletop position. All right, so we talked about the compression that the cat-cow gave us. Let's take that compression a little deeper. Come down to a Sphinx pose. So place your forearms onto your mat, send your legs long, and come on down to your belly. Once on your belly, your elbows are under your shoulders, so think Sphinx in Egypt. Hands spread wide, legs are long, they don't have to touch. You decide, just kind of wiggle in, get comfortable. Gaze down your nose like the great Sphinx and feel what you feel here. All right, your thighs are on the mat. You're pressing into your hands. Press a little bit more into your hands. Your low back is feeling this, right? Feel the compression in the low back? How does it feel? Breathe in, breathe out in your Sphinx pose. So the compression in the low back helps strengthen the low back. You got to move in your full range of motion, which we do, and we're going to do in our toes, pose, and ankle flow in a moment. But cat-cow gives you that range of motion in your low back as you go from cat to cow. And here we are in Sphinx, increasing that compression in the low back. How does it feel? Breathe in, breathe out. And another pose in which we get a lot of this compression is that camel pose. We just take it differently. Every day, take it differently. Try something new, try something different, and see what works for you. And it all works together for that which is good. We know that, right? Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. All right, let's slide our hands underneath our shoulders and press on up to a seal pose. Feeling that compression in the low back. Now, I bet your bottom is squeezed tight. Kind of soften in the bottom. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's take this back to a wide-legged child's pose. Knees spread wide, hips back to your heels. Reach long to the front of your mat. Breathe in. Breathe out, decompress in your low back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come out of your wide-legged child's pose and come down to your mat, onto your belly. All right, so we're gonna do broken wing. Then we'll do our toes pose. So broken wing. Tee out your left arm. Come down onto your belly. Bend your right arm. Place your right hand underneath your right collarbone. Right arm is gonna be like a little elevator. It's got the leverage. It's got the control. Left arm is teed out. You can always change it. You can lower the arm a little bit. You can put a bend in the elbow. What is going to work for you today? Only you know. All right, roll onto your left hip. As you roll onto your left hip, the right arm, which is bent, is going to move. You're going to push either harder into the ground or less hard into the ground. Because what you want to feel is in your left shoulder. You want to feel a good stretch in the left shoulder. Legs can be long. They can be slightly bent. Maybe that feels good. Top leg, the right leg, maybe you bend it a lot. Place the sole of the right foot in front of the extended left leg and kind of push into that foot a little bit too. Maybe you like that. It's all about the shoulder. We're isolating the shoulder now. Although many other good things are happening too. But you're really feeling it in the shoulder. That's what we're going for. Another option, you know, the right foot is in front of the knee. You can bring it behind the knee and drive the knee up, bring it behind the extended left leg and drive up to the sky. You decide what works for you today. Maybe none of those feel great. You just want to bend your knee kind of like in a little fetal position in the knees, and that feels good. It's all about the shoulder. Breathe in. Breathe out. And just send your breath to your shoulder. You know, I think you tend to have a lot of tension here. At least I do. Have a lot of tension in the shoulder. You know, just realize, hey, it doesn't hurt. That's important. If it hurts, back out of it. Doesn't hurt, but it's not super comfortable either. But if I send my breath there and just kind of chill, just kind of relax, good things are going on. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, we got another shoulder to do. Okay, you can just roll onto your belly and let's take it to the other side. I'm gonna switch sides so my bottom's not facing the camera. I'm gonna extend my right arm long this time. Left arm's gonna be the elevator that has all the control. I'm gonna roll onto my right hip. Left hand, kind of under where the shoulder was. I'm going to push into it. Eyes closed. Feel the shoulder. All right, so it's tighter when you start, isn't it? It's going to loosen up. Don't take it too fast, too far. Take it slowly. Slow and steady wins the race. Push the hand a little more, a little less. Legs can be kind of in that little fetal position. They can be extended long. Top leg can bend. You don't have to do this right away. You know, take some time. Maybe you want to take a few more breaths in that fetal-like position, and then maybe kind of play with the legs. I'm going to place my left foot in front of my extended right leg, driving the knee up to the sky. And remember that other option, bringing the left leg behind the extended right and driving the foot into the mat and sending the knee high to the sky. Whatever feels right for you is exactly right. Soften in the jaws. Send the breath to the shoulder. Just be patient. It takes time, doesn't it? Everything takes time, but I think we're impatient and we don't want to give it time. All right, just kind of assess your shoulder here. If it hurts, I hope you've come out of it. If it's just uncomfortable, stay with it. Couple breaths, maybe you can push more into the hand. Just relax into it. It's not hurting. Just a little uncomfortable maybe, past that threshold of discomfort. Don't go back to less just because you're simply too impatient to wait for better, to wait for it to work. Just don't give up. Take it slowly and keep on trying. I know you like this pose, Christy. It works wonders for your shoulders. Hello to Marietta, Tina, Rena, Steve, Tim, Olivia, how are you? Walter, Allison, Marietta, Mary Beth. I'm glad you guys are here. Breathe in, breathe out. All right, how's that for the shoulder? Feeling really good? We took our time with this today. Maybe you want to come back to it later and try it again later in the day. All right, roll onto your belly. Oh, let it feel good. Remember that seal pose? Take both hands, put them under your shoulders, under your collarbones, and slowly press on up. Take that elevator ride in the elbows, up, up, up. Soften in the glutes. Breathe. Nice job. Time for toes pose. Come on up. Find your blocks. Bring them to your sides. Let's flow this, okay? Like we talked about extension and flexion. Let's flow this in the ankles. Let's get the ankles moving all different ways. So have your blocks by your sides. Tuck your toes to your shins. Have a seat back on your heels. Hands to your thighs. All right, how do your shoulders feel? Maybe give them a wiggle. Just think about them for a second. Maybe move them however, like birds' wings. How did that broken wing posture feel for you today? Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. All right, feeling it in the toes. Feel the stretch in the toes. Let's feel the stretch in the ankles now. Use your blocks to bring the ground up to you. Place the tops of your feet on your mat. Walk the blocks back and pop on up onto the tops of your feet. Knees stay together. Lengthen up and just play with this a little bit. I mean, you're doing a huge balancing act here on the tops of your feet, really stretching your ankles out in a position that you don't normally take, right? So I was thinking about this. When do you ever stretch your ankles in this way? The only way I can think of, and this came to me first thing this morning, is if you lie on your stomach in bed, your ankles are bent this way, right? I mean, when do you bend your ankles this way naturally? Let me know. Tell me in our group, Friends of 316 Yoga on Facebook. Ask and I'll let you in. I'll share some articles with you about the poses we do. And just let me know what you like and what you don't like. And I can incorporate it into our practice maybe tomorrow. All right, so you're on your tops of your feet. Let's come back to a toes pose. And just think about your ankles for a minute and your feet and the good stretching you're getting here. Breathe in. Breathe out. Hello to Tammy and Stan and Esther and Liz, Tyrone, Lynn, Kelly, Barbara, Mary Jo. I'm glad you are here. All right, I'm going to do it again. Ankle pose. Use those blocks. Push into them. Pop on up, keeping your knees together. And maybe you're saying, I don't want want to use the blocks. That's how I want to challenge myself today. I want to bring my hands to prayer center and breathe here. Another challenge would be perhaps to close your eyes or take a couple of long blinks. You can always have your hands down by your sides. Lots of ways to do it. Just do it. All right, I'm going to do it again. Come on back to the toes pose. Stretch out the feet, stretch out the ankles, let it be. The next pose we're gonna go to, so maybe you wanna stay in toes pose and ankle pose and go back and forth. Next pose is gonna be a 1-minute plank. And it's actually kinda gonna be a 2-minute plank. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's a lot. Because we're gonna do a side plank. Or you're gonna do the exact variation of plank that you like. Come back down to the ankles, or to the tops of the feet one more time. Stretch out the ankles. Maybe you wanna keep doing this toes pose ankle flow. All right, so you decide how you want to do this plank. But planks, I would encourage you to try, just try. Because it's an overall body strengthening pose, and that's what we want to do. We want to be strong overall in our body. Come back to a neutral tabletop. Lift your feet up, squeeze and scrunch your toes, circle the ankles this way and that, and then tap the tops of your feet out on your mat. Do your feet feel refreshed and new? Yes. All right, so for your plank. All right, take it lots of different ways. Remember how we started out in that wide-legged child's pose? You could take a plank like this, kind of a little frog plank, a knee plank, and hinge the weight forward. What you want to feel is extra strength in your core, in your belly, and you're going to feel the strength in your arms. Maybe you want to take it that way. Maybe you want to take it lying down on your back and sending your hands up to the sky, so kind of inverting your plank to 180 degrees, thinking, hey, I'm in a plank. Just think through that. I'm going to take a side plank, and I'm going to take it on my forearm. You can take it on your knee. Give it a go. It's not as bad as it seems. All right. Elbow underneath shoulder, forearm parallel to the top of the mat, fingers spread wide so I have a good strong foundation. You could be on your bottom knee and you could lift the leg up and hold. I'm not there yet. And then maybe place your hand on your hip. I'm going to take a side plank, a full side plank. I'm going to have my legs long, and let's go with the timer here. All right, here we go, 1 minute. Okay, side plank. It's really important to be stable. There's a timer on the screen. You can time yourself. Maybe you got a little chart on the refrigerator where you say, I did a 5-second plank today, good on me. Or I did a 10-second plank. It's all good. Just note your progress. We like to note progress, don't we? Shoulder over the elbow, forearm parallel to the top of the mat. Hand can be on the hip. We're over 30 seconds in. We got this. Lift the arm up to the sky, keeping the hips lifted, totally fine. Lots of ways to take it. Hand on the hip. Hand can be a kickstand. You can bring the hips down if you want to just take a little break. You decide. Hold on here. I'm going to lift my arm up. Now you can be on that bottom knee. Totally fine, as we mentioned. Do what works for you. We've got less than 10 seconds to go. How are you doing in your variation of your side plank? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Oh my goodness. Come on down. How are you doing? Take a break. We'll go to the other side. Maybe you want to try for a minute, 10 seconds in your high plank. It's all good, but you got that timer there. I'm going to set up for the other side. Same thing. It's really important to protect your shoulder over the elbow. Forearm parallel to the side of your mat. Maybe you just lift here. Think of lifting out of that side body and lifting your arm with your knees down. It's all good. It's something new. It's something different. Take the variation of plank that you like. I'm going to press on up, and let's begin the timer now. Arm lifts. Breathe. Ooh, I really can't see the timer, Dwayne. You're going to have to help me. Breathe. Camera's right in the way. All right, look on up. Breathe. Hold on. Hold your side plank. Breathe. Thank you. Breathe. Hand can be on the hip. Hand can be a little kickstand. Just try. Just try. You're strong. You're really strong. Okay, we've got 30 seconds to go, or less, or more. It's up to you. Breathe. Lift a little more out of the hips. Hips are stacked. Elbows are stacked. Maybe the arm lifts. 17 seconds to go. I'm counting every one. Breathe. push the earth away. Last little bit of effort here. You can do anything for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2. Let's do it again. 2, 1. We are done. Come on down. All right. How'd you do? Whichever variation you did, I hope it didn't make you want to run away. You got to try. Give it a go. Just try. How you feeling? All right, don't you feel refreshed, invigorated, peppermint patty out of the freezer, right? Whew, you feel good after you do your planks. Let's come into a thunderbolt pose. All right, for thunderbolt, nice for the knees, or maybe not so nice for the knees. How does it feel for the knees? It's a good stretch for the knees, good stretch for the hamstrings. I'm gonna grab a drink, hold on here. Tops of the feet are on the mat. We're gonna do some bending in this pose. All right, hands on your thighs, lengthen up through the crown of your head, and then soften up in the shoulders as you exhale. All we're gonna do, think combining classic child's pose, because that's kind of the way your legs are in, right? And a reach forward as you would in a wide-legged child's pose. So just reach forward. Put your hands down on your mat, reach forward. Let your belly rest on your thighs. Breathe in. Belly's gonna push away from the thighs. Breathe out. Come on back up. Back up to seated. Hands, have them be little kickstands. Bring them down to the ground, or you've got blocks, use those. Put your hands on your blocks. Lift your chest up to the sky. What feels good for you today? The blocks are kind of nice. Always think of the blocks as bringing the ground up to you. It's a great way to do that. If you can't quite reach the ground in something, grab a block and say, that's my ground. I'm grounded. That's my ground. It's good. Use props. Use what you need. Lift your chest up to the sky. Breathe. Nice job. All right, let's go side to side. Maybe slip those blocks up a little closer. Lift your arms up, extended mountain. Lengthen up. You got mobility in your shoulders. I bet you've got real good mobility after that broken wing, right? And if it's not so good, we're working on it. And it's better than it was. It's better than if you were just sitting on your couch doing nothing. Breathe. Place one arm down on a block. Lift through that other arm good and high, nice and straight. And then go ahead and take a side bend. As you take this side bend, the arm that is on the block or the ground, it can be a little elevator. Go up and down with it. The other arm is reaching long and strong to the side of your room. Chin away from the chest. And you know what? The tendency is to have that top shoulder collapse in. Bring it on back. Be mindful of what you're doing. Lengthen through the fingers and use your elevator hand. Breathe. So no rush, no hurry. Feel what you feel. Should be a nice stretch all up and down the side that has the arm lifted. So you're reaching through those fingers. You can feel it through the arm. Feel it in the armpit and feel it in those ribs. Breathe. Elevator arm maybe slips down a little bit. And maybe you have a half-size block or no block at all. You take it a little farther, but only as what your body is saying it wants. Keep your bottom onto both heels. Don't let that one bottom cheek pop off of that heel. Stretch a little bit more. Just takes time, right? Breathe in, breathe out. The other day, our practice went quickly, and there's times for that too. You move quickly through the practice. You do one breath, one movement. There's time for that, and we do those on Tuesdays and Saturdays. On Sundays and Thursdays, we do more like this in that we hold a pose longer. Reach a little farther. The longer you hold it, maybe you can find more depth. And that's what a restorative practice is all about. We do those on Thursdays and Sundays. Check it out. Every day, something different, I promise. All right, slowly float on back up. Lift both arms up. Lengthen up. Feels good to find length, doesn't it? And then bring the opposite arm down to that block or down to the mat, whatever, strikes your fancy. And this is a full-size yoga block. You can buy them half-size too. Lots of things you can add to your yoga tool chest. Reach and lengthen and straighten up through that extended arm. Other arm down to your block or the mat, and you're just stretching here. stretch. And you know what? Your knees are getting that good stretch too, but your mind is off of them. Kind of like in toes pose, when we do things with our arms, your mind gets off of your feet. That's a good thing. Chin away from the chest, top shoulder goes back to the back of the room. Breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Hold it here, reach it here, stretch it here. All right, this is kind of cool. So I said earlier, you know, you're a wonderful creation. Always remember that, that's for sure. And you know more than you think you know, but you also know less than you want to know. And one of the things that we should know is that our yoga is doing good things for us. You got to keep on striving, keep on learning, keep on doing your yoga because it makes a positive difference in your life. So here's the deal. There is a Danish twin study, and they said that the average person's lifespan or quality of their life is 20% determined by genetics, so thanks mom and dad, and grandma and grandpa, but 80%, that's a huge percentage, right? 80% is determined by your environment and your lifestyle. So what is the style of your life? How's your elbow? Is it working on down? Maybe remove the block. So what's your lifestyle? That's important. It's 80%. Throw in the environmental factors too, but we all live in great places where we have healthy access to air and water and food and all that stuff. But what is your lifestyle? What are you doing? What are you doing to make your life better? 80% of it is up to you. Use your yoga to make that quality difference. Reach a little more, stretch a little more, find that mobility. You're going to want mobility. You don't want to be rigid and stiff. You want mobility, you want flexibility, and you're getting it. Breathe. All right, slowly, slowly, slowly. Bring it back to center. Stretch it out by reaching up to the sky. Take a little baby back bend. And remember how we started here? Reach forward. Hands come down, hands down to the ground. Reach them, stretch them forward. Combining your classic and a reaching arm child's pose. Breathe in, breathe out. Come on up. 2. Shoulders over your hips. Remove your blocks. 80% is up to you. Oh my gosh. Take responsibility. Do good things. Come on down to your mat. All right. Have your strap nearby. And you might as well put your towel and your eye shade up near your shoulders. Now, don't forget. All right, I'm gonna grab a drink. All right. Soles of the feet touch, knees open wide, and come on down. Come on down nice and slowly. Maybe put your hands at prayer center and tell yourself something good about your body. Like I'm strong, I'm healthy, I'm mobile, I'm getting more mobile. I'm working on it. All right. Knees spread wide, soles of your feet touch. Take that goddess pose, reclined goddess. Bring your hands, bring your elbows up by your shoulders at the same distance. Place the backs of your forearms down on your mat and the backs of your hands too. So your arms are like a cactus here. Breathe in, breathe out. Stay right here if you like. We can add in a few little Supta Baddha Konasana sit-ups if that strikes your fancy today. So if this is where you want to be, stay right here. Perhaps you'd like to bend your elbows a little bit more. Bring your fingers lightly to your temples. Keep your elbows open wide. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Another full breath in. And on this exhale, let your shoulders and your upper back come up off of the mat. Let your chin go up toward the sky and then come on down. So little teeny sit-ups that are said to work your low abs. I don't know how you can isolate because everything is engaged and working here. Little lifts, little lowers. If you like that, go for it. We'll do a lot more of these on Friday in our Yoga Plus. Friday, when we do Yoga Plus, we add in bar, we add in Pilates, we add in hand weights, and we make it more challenging. But you make it as challenging as is challenging for you. Little lifts, little lowers here. And then let's finish. Maybe come back to your goddess pose. Hold on here. Big breath in. And big breath out. Your strap. Grab it. You can stay right where you are if goddess is speaking to you, or I'm going to do a boat pose with the strap. I'm going to bring my knees towards each other and then up towards my chest. I'm going to place the center of my strap underneath my feet, and I'm going to send my feet up to the sky. I'm going to hold on to the strap like reins of a horse and draw my toes towards my shins. A little bit of a bend in your knees can make the world of a difference here. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Let it go. Shoulders are soft on the mat. Think of your heels as weighted, keeping your legs extended or with that little bend. It's up to you. Let the heels float toward the earth. As the heels float toward the earth and you're holding tightly onto that strap, peel the shoulders on up. Take it slow. Push the feet into the strap and lift almost magically. Float out of the chest. Come on up. Hold on here, squeeze the shoulders toward the spine so your back is nice and straight. Hold here in this variation of your boat pose. Maybe lean on back as if you're in a chair that reclines. Hold on, breathe. You can feel your core is tight, right? But you're helping. You're helping yourself with your strap. Breathe. Stay strong, shoulders away from the ears. Breathe, hold, you can do it. This is your boat pose with your strap. You know, whenever we do boat pose without the strap, maybe you say, I want to use my strap, so go for it. Breathe in, breathe out. All right, heels come down. Heels come down, shoulders are over your hips. Sit up nice and straight and tall because yes, you can. Walk your hands down your straps, gaze toward your knees. Maybe let your nose come toward your knees. Breathe in, breathe out. Remove your strap, come on up, shoulders over your hips. Take a pentacle pose. This is the pose that I love because it resets everything, kind of new beginnings, right? And enjoy the getting here. Float on down. Feels so good to come into this pose. The best part is getting there. Isn't that true about some things? The journey, the pleasure is in the journey. Arms spread overhead, reaching to the two top corners of the room, and your legs spread wide, reaching to the two bottom corners of your room. Doesn't feel good in the shoulders? Modify. Maybe put a bend in the shoulders, maybe work the elbows down a little bit, or maybe you keep the arms straight and think like a snow angel and bring the arms down a little bit. Where is right for you? My pinky toes, I'm going to let them fall toward the earth a little bit more, and I'm going to reach and stretch all four limbs to all four corners of the room. Breathe in, breathe out. You can stay right here in your pentacle pose. I'm going to come into two standing poses. That's it for today. It's up to you what you want to do. I said it would be, the practice would be all on the mat, typical of our Wednesdays, but there's a little sprinkling of balance built in if you want to take that. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring my legs together at the midline of my body. I'm going to let my arms float down by my sides. I can either use my hands or not to come on up to seated. You decide what works. Just know what you're doing. I'm going to come on up to a standing position. Maybe you're doing that, or maybe you're just enjoying that pentacle a little bit longer. All right, Warrior 3 and tree. We did that. We're doing that a lot this week. But right now, today, we're going to build some confidence in Warrior 3. Lots of ways to take it. I'm going to put my hands on my hips. I'm going to take a big step forward with my right foot. Totally great. Totally good. Stay here if this is what you want. I'm going to hinge the weight forward into this front leg, my right leg. I'm going to put a little bend in my right knee because there's no point in locking it out or stressing it out, right? Yoga's not about stress. It's about alleviating the stress. Lift the back leg up a little bit. Your hands on your hips. Push your hips down, find length there, and then work your chest parallel to your mat. Lift your back leg up. Hands are on the hips, you're good and stable. You could also hold on to a chair with one hand or your countertop. Lift that back leg a little bit more. Totally fine. You got it. You're strong. Press into your hips. Hold on to your hips. Strong foundation in the feet. Strong foundation in that standing leg. You're holding on to your hips. You're solid. Bring your left foot to meet your right. Totally fine. Totally good. Great variation of your Warrior 3. Step back with the right foot now. Hinge the weight forward into the left leg. Hinge the weight forward, little bit of weight in the back toes. Totally fine. You got your hips or your chair. Confidence, so important. Have confidence in your body and it'll take care of you. Lift the leg perhaps a little bit more or not. Press those hips down. Hold on strong. Lift that leg. Maybe you can take it even higher than you think. Hold on. Gaze down to your mat. Be at peace here. You're strong. You can do it. Yes, you can. Slowly with control. Right foot meets left on your mat. Excellent job. One more. You will look taller. First letter of each word. Don't sweat over it. Legs together. Arms in a big, yay, big letter Y shape. Press the backs of your hands to the back of the room. You. Press your arms into the shape of a W. Will. 2 L's. Look. T for taller. Pulse it out. Do it again. You will look taller. Pulse it out. Third time's the charm. Big letter Y. Big letter W. Big letters L. Big letter T with a pulse. Float your arms down by your sides. Close your eyes. Feel what you feel. Shoulders are back and down. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. We've got mobility in those shoulders. You did a good long broken wing. You will look taller. You did a pentacle pose. Your shoulders are feeling mighty good. All right, let's join our friends who stayed on the mat. Good on them for making that decision. Fold forward. Walk your hands forward. Come down to your knees. Come on down to your back and grab your strap. With your strap, come on down. I always like to take this coming down onto your back moment by putting your hands in prayer, lengthening up through the spine and coming back to that positive little saying. Call it a mantra, call it a meditation, call it just self-talk, whatever you want to call it. Have a little positive statement. Maybe it's the same all the time, or maybe it's different every day depending upon what you need. I'm going to say I am strong. Lengthen up through the spine and then come on down to recline. Once all the way down. Feels good to be in control. Work on it. Starts in your head. Starts in believing. All right, strap. Strappy legs. We do this often. Place the strap under the center of your feet. If you want to do boat pose again, go for it. Maybe that's speaking to you. I'm going to take this strap. I'm going to pull it. Elbows are hugged in. I'm going to pull so my toes almost come over my head. Bend in the knees. Try it and see if you like it. I'm going to take my right leg out of my mat, out of my strap. I'm going to send it long on my mat, drawing my toes toward my shin, feeling my calf on my mat. Hips, I'm going to really send this leg long and really feel that that right leg is long and straight and powerful, super plugged in to the mat. I'm going to take the strap into both hands. I'm going to let this left foot, I'm going to let it fall open toward the pinky edge side of the foot. The pinky's going to come toward the earth. Doesn't have to come far. I've got the strap. I'm in control, kind of like how you had the strap in boat pose. You know, you're just holding on to it. Let that leg fall toward the earth. Doesn't have to touch the earth. You know, just let it fall open. Inhale, bring it on back up toward the sky. Switch the strap into the other hand. You're going to roll onto your right hip as the big toe comes down toward the earth. Keep your left shoulder down and maybe tee out your left arm. You can bring that foot, the big toe, closer to the earth, or not very close at all, whatever works. Maybe you look to your left. Bring the leg on back up. Let it pinky edge of your toe, pinky toe side of your foot. Yeah, that's it. Fall to the left side, maybe tee out your right arm and look right. All right, so think about it for a second. Your leg is just creating a half circle over your body. Maybe it's a pie wedge, maybe it's a quarter of a circle, or maybe it's a full half. Look in the opposite direction of which the leg is extended and breathe. As you're ready, let the foot float back up to the sky, and it's the other leg's turn. Bring the right foot up to meet the left. You know, just give it a little adjustment here. Both feet, just stay there for a second together, and then the left foot goes down. Left heel on the mat, left toes drawn toward the shin, left leg is long and strong on the mat. Strap into the right hand, let the pinky toe open up toward the earth, left arm tees out, and my gaze goes left. Breathe. Inhale, leg comes up, and then it starts to drift to the other side. Big toe wants to make its way down to the ground. Left hand holds the strap. This time you roll onto your left hip, right arm tees out, and you look right. Do a couple more at your pace. Think of when the breath comes up, the foot comes up. Tee out the opposite arm to the side opposite of which the leg is extending, and look in that direction. Mobility in your hips sets you up for going for a good walk today. How's that? And just set out the door, put on your shoes, go out the door for 5 minutes. And I bet if you do that, the 5 minutes turns into 20 minutes or a half hour or whatever, but just breathe. Nobody's too busy to take care of themselves. Get out and walk, because your yoga sets you up for a wonderful life. All right, I'm going to finish up. Bring the left foot back to meet the right. Give both feet a little tug, and then release both legs down. Let them float down. Take it slowly. Let it float down. Your core is strong. Oh, you did 2 minutes of planks today. Oh my gosh, let them float down. Find your eye shade in your towel, which you brought up near your mat a while ago. Cover your eyes, spread your legs, not as wide as pentacle. Or if you want to, go for it. But I'm going to bring my heels to the bottom corners of the mat for final Shavasana pose. Palms can be face up or face down, whatever feels best for you today. I'm going to wiggle my hips a little bit because I'm going to let any last little tension go. I'm going to wiggle my shoulders too and kind of tuck them under my back. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Just let it all go. This is your moment. Soften the area between your eyebrows. Let your body be heavy, and even those pinky toes, let them fall toward the edges of your mat a little bit more. Just breathe. Nothing more simple and wonderful as deep breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take a really deep breath in. We mentioned it at the beginning of the practice. Deep, deep breath in. And deep, deep, deep breath out. Most of us don't breathe deeply enough. Breathe deeply. Big breath in. And big breath out. All right, we've been practicing together for a while, and if you're new today, you're going to learn something new. And the learning something new is have your remote control nearby so you can hit pause and enjoy your final Shavasana pose longer. What's a few more minutes? Enjoy it. Breathe. Take this time for you. If it is time for you to conclude your practice, we'll unpause that button and wiggle your fingers and your toes. Ooh, your ankles did a lot today. Your feet did a lot today. Circle your wrists, circle your ankles, circle your hands, your toes. Just move. On an inhale, reach high up overhead. How are you feeling in the shoulders? We did a lot for the shoulders today too. Maybe you can reach a little higher. Maybe it's not so uncomfortable there anymore. Maybe you've passed that threshold and it feels pretty good. Point your toes to the bottom of the mat. Take a big good morning stretch. Bend your knees, bend your elbows, and come into a fetal position onto one side or the other. Roll onto that hip. Enjoy the getting there. Bend your low arm. Use that bicep as a pillow for your head. Soften in your top shoulder. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Savor this moment, savor this breath, savor this peace in this present moment. As you're ready, float on up to a comfortable seat. Use your hands or not, you decide, you're in control. Maybe you keep your eyes closed and sit however feels right. We sat for a while in Thunderbolt pose, so maybe your knees have some more mobility there. Maybe that feels all right to do today. Just be aware. Be aware of our bodies. So many of us aren't aware of our bodies. We aren't aware of what we put in our mouths when we eat. We aren't aware of our bodies. Get more aware. It'll make a positive difference in your wonderful life. Because the first thing I said was you are a wonderful creation, and it is true. But work on it. Work on it every day. Come back to what we said. First of all, come back to that your stress number. What was it when we started, and what is it now? I'm sure it's a lot lower, and that's really good. So think about what this yoga did for you. Then also come back to, remember that twin study I mentioned, that Danish twin study? The average person's lifespan is 20% determined by genetics, thanks mom and dad and grandma and grandpa, but 80% determined by you, by your environment. Most of our environments are pretty good, and our lifestyles. Maybe that needs a little bit of work. All right, each and every day practice love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Love you guys. See you on your mats tomorrow. Bye-bye. Hello. You were good today. You're good every day. Yes, you are. You're full of goodness. Have a good day. Goodbye. Faithfulness, faithfulness to your practice, faithfulness to yourself, faithfulness to the goodness in your body. I'm glad you're still here. I'm glad that you're still practicing with me and allowing me to practice with you. Remember, the only way you form a path is by keep walking it. So keep up with the yoga. Keep doing it and good things will happen. I promise. Tell your friends about the yoga you've been doing. They can check out our website. It's www.316yoga.com. They can show up. They can do our yoga. Visit that website if you'd like to support our broadcast. Otherwise, bring your dog to yoga. Have fun with your practice and just show up and create those good habits with that new path of being here. See you on your mats tomorrow. Bye.